Today, I'm going to share with you the very best travel tip for not only visiting England, but for visiting the entire United Kingdom that has the potential to save you thousands of dollars. Now, this is not talked about much, and today we are going to talk about it right here in this video. So come follow me away as I share with you this amazing travel hack for visiting the United Kingdom. Before we get started, make sure to take your like button and pack it in your carry-on along with your subscribe and share button and get ready to come to England. Now, in the UK, there's something called the National Trust, and the National Trust was founded in 1895 by 3 Victorian philanthropists who were concerned about the impact of the uncontrolled development and the industrialization that was currently happening in Britain. So back in 1895, the UK was changing so rapidly, and there are so many amazing sights to see and historical locations, more than you can even comprehend. So the National Trust was created, and this is where we can come into the UK today and see so many absolutely incredible sights, from castles to gardens to more things than you can possibly conceive. Now, my biggest tip if you are going to travel to the United Kingdom is to consider getting a National Trust pass. Now, there are National Trust passes for USA citizens if you buy them in advance, but anybody can pay the price of the National Trust pass right there at the gate. This is what I wish I would have known on my first trip to Great Britain when I was traveling around, because I had already spent hundreds and hundreds of dollars before I even knew that foreigners were allowed to buy a National Trust membership. So you do not make the same mistake as me. I am going to give that tip to you. So why should you consider getting a National Trust pass? Well, if you are visiting the UK, they are responsible for over 600,000 acres of farmland, over 780 miles of coastline, over 500 historical properties, gardens, and nature reserves, and it's for everyone forever. This means that there's almost a guarantee that you will run into a National Trust property during your trip to the United Kingdom, simply because there are so many. You might be asking the question, how the heck do I even know which property is a National Trust property? And that is a very good question. The National Trust website makes it so incredibly easy to type in your location or where you're planning to go, and then it's going to populate with all the National Trusts in your area, down to how much it costs and the opening hours, and if it's open on that certain day that you are planning on visiting there. Oftentimes, when you are paying at the window, you will not be asked if you want to buy a National Trust membership. I went to probably 15 National Trusts before I even knew that this was something that foreigners could take advantage of, until I was at Stourhead, and the lovely gentleman at Stourhead gave me the option, and I said I had no idea that foreigners could even do this, and he said, heck yeah, you just don't get the same discount that other people might get. And I said, sign me up immediately right here today. Now, some National Trusts are very affordable, or they might just be a parking lot that only costs £5, but other ones are very expensive, such as Stourhead or Colzine Castle in Scotland. They can be cost prohibitive and be upwards of £20 per person per visit. And for me, I visited a couple of these trusts multiple times, and this was thankfully after I knew about purchasing the National Trust membership. So it was saving me and my partner £40 a pop. And thankfully, this was after we knew about the trust membership. So we were fully able to take advantage and not say, oh, wow, this is going to be £40. And in conversion to USD, the dollar is not as strong as the pound right now. So it is saving us a lot of money, because we just pay the fee one time and we can use it unlimited times throughout the year. So you need to do the cost comparison before you buy your National Trust membership. See how many trusts you're thinking about going to. But if you think that you're going to any more than is what makes the pass worth it for you, I would highly recommend. Again, while you are researching your trip, it is not too hard to simply plug in a few National Trust places and see if it makes the membership cost worth it. Now, you need to research depending on if you are a family, if you are elderly, a student, a couple, whatever you may be doing, or if you are a local or foreigner, because the prices are different depending on your circumstances. But plug in the National Trusts that you want to visit, and just visiting some such as Stourhead, which is very famous and popular for filming in Pride and Prejudice, and a few ones nearby London, you can be able to make up the cost of the pass and more. Now, this is great for people that are doing a longer trip, that are going out to places that have a lot of trusts nearby, or that visit the UK more often throughout the year. But again, just make sure to do your research to see if this is right for you. But this is literally my biggest travel tip. Okay, so what happens once you say, yes, I'm going to pay for this, and then you sign up for it? What happens is at that National Trust place that you sign up, they are going to give you a paper that you will carry for the duration of your trip, and they will ship the National Trust membership cards directly to your house. So you will not get a membership card while you are there. You will just get a paper that you will carry around, and they will also give you a parking pass, because some parking lots at places such as Stourhead or various beaches or nature locations do cost money to park on the National Trust properties. So you will get a card that says this is your parking pass, like until you get your main one that's being shipped to your house, as well as a supplemental paper that you will carry around and show the different National Trusts when you are visiting, and they will just take a quick look at it and you will be on your way. It is extremely easy and painless procedure. Of course, this would not be a video about the National Trust if I did not give you a couple of my favorite trusts that I absolutely loved visiting. Number one, Stourhead absolutely makes it worth the money if you're going to be in the Cotswolds region, as well as Prior Park, which is also very reminiscent of Pride and Prejudice and is absolutely gorgeous. Now, if you're going up to Scotland, Colzine Castle is one of Scotland's trusts. It is insane and very beautiful. And if you are heading to the south of England and heading south from London, I highly recommend Scotney Castle, as well as the nearby Bodiam Castle. If you are looking for National Trust gardens to visit and you are in Ireland, I absolutely am obsessed with Hillsborough Castle Gardens in Northern Ireland. It is one of my favorite places to visit. If you are visiting Wales, I recommend visiting Bodant Gardens. The Laburnum Arch there is beyond incredible, and I was fortunate enough to be able to see this. It was insane. And if you are visiting England and looking for gardens, I recommend Hidcote Gardens. That place was beyond gorgeous, and it was more of a wild garden. I also recommend Great Chafield Manor if you're looking for a good rose garden that is also a National Trust. Bouscott Park was off the beaten path, but gorgeous and absolutely massive, just the perfect place to explore. And Snowshill Manor and Gardens was definitely a hidden gem that was not busy at all during the high season in the Cotswolds. So if you're in that region, I definitely recommend checking that out. If you do the math correctly, and if you are planning your trip correctly, and you know that you are going to be going to some of the National Trusts, some of the over 500 gardens or 750 miles of coastline, or anything regarding the National Trust, and you think that you will spend more than the minimum required to make a National Trust membership worth it, I absolutely recommend doing this. This is the best way to save money because, as I mentioned earlier, I literally spent hundreds and hundreds of dollars before I knew that the National Trust membership was an opportunity, and I do absolutely regret not knowing about this. So if you have gone to as many National Trusts as I have went to in my time in the UK, you will have spent the equivalent of thousands of dollars when you could just, for a reasonably moderate fee, buy a National Trust membership. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share if you loved this travel tip. And if you save money, make sure to let me know in the comments. We'll see you next time.